Hello and welcome. I am Scrabberlock and this is City of Heroes. We are with our almost 12th level Dominator, Mister Eclipse, who is on a story arc trying to fix the clockwork. So our contact here, Alex, says that now that he's calmed down a little bit because he was kidnapped, clockwork data he was analyzing has a curious anomaly. There's some lines of script and they're not really defined properly. It looks like gibberish, but this prompted me to do some more digging and I found something very curious. The strange signal emitted from that first clockwork who went rogue. Well, I haven't been able to identify what sort of signal it is or how it was transmitting, but I've been searching the city for more signals and I found one. Go check it out. So we're gonna teleport over. Whoops, yeah, I've been doing super jump because since Silver Phoenix got stuck on that flashback story arc, I've been going through like little by little and just doing one mission at a time. I'm about halfway through it, the Worldwide Red. It's much easier to do with her than it was with Liberty Lass. On the other hand, I have reduced it back down to +2 because I'm not interested in gaining XP and stuff. I'm trying to just get through it. Because I don't think there's any way to get off a story arc once you're on it, so I just want to clear that for her. Meanwhile, this character is on a story arc we want to be on, and we got to get to level 12 and get hopefully an AoE attack power, because I think one of our weaknesses is we're not doing enough damage. And we're just constantly having to control, but not do damage while we're controlling. By the way, it also will be useful at some point for us to get stealth. The nice thing about stealth is it will allow me to sneak up on them and get my first licks in before they realize I'm there, although usually that happens anyway, like that. So we got 2 of them locked. And then we'll do our AoE. Am I attacking the wrong guy? There's only 2 guys? I thought there were 3 guys over here. The reason I came up here is I thought there was a 3rd guy. Let me get my eyeglasses checked, I guess. It's Saturday, and I finally, after a month, my group, minus the player who's in Europe, got to play some Deadlands today. We had a lot of fun. We're playing the horror at Headstone Hill, and the players blundered into this thing called the Flayer Piano, which is almost like a mimic. This piano just jumps out. Player piano just turns evil and attacks. We're being ambushed. A lot of ambushes in these story arcs. So anyway, yeah, they got jumped. The first player to get attacked actually got almost killed. It did 4 wounds, and she only soaked 1, so she ended up with 3 wounds. And Savage Rolls, 4 wounds can incapacitate you. The healer was able to bring her down to 1 wound, and it was really cool because that character then used telekinesis to push the Flayer piano out into the street, and then the battle ended up in the street. And so it was really kind of funny because then the townsfolk saw it, and then the marshal came along, and like they had just rented this house like the hour before, and they threw this thing through the living room wall. So they damaged the house that they rented and stuff, so they got a broken front wall now. Yep, I thought there was another ambush potentially coming. You can turn on each other, have fun. So yeah, I had a lot of fun, and here's the cool thing, and this is why I love my players. So the girl from Finland, her character failed his fear check when the Flayer piano started attacking, and she rolled on the fear table and got that her character permanently now has a minor phobia, and she got all excited. She's like, "Oh, cool!" And I said, "What do you think it should be?" She said, "I know what it should be. He's afraid of pianos because the evil Reckoner Chaos, who's been trying to manipulate them, when she appears, they hear piano music, and she was playing a piano, and then she got up and it was playing itself. So things like player pianos freak him out now. So that's pretty cool. And she was just giddy with how cool that was, right? And this is why um, I love my group, is because they didn't like get mad. Oh darn it! Now I have a hindrance. She was like, oh cool, and she came up with the hindrance and what one would be the most appropriate. And she's like, I can't wait to roleplay this, right? So it's a lot of fun to have players who are willing to do that and see these kinds of things as an opportunity for roleplay rather than some negative thing that happened to their character. Yeah, it's technically negative to the character, but it's not negative to the player. You know, I think it's always important to keep that in mind, that just because something negative happens to the character, it's not necessarily something negative that's happening to you as a player, right? Because all you're there to do is play the role of a character. You can play the role of a character who's afraid of a piano just as easily as you can play the role of a character who isn't. And it actually makes the character more interesting in many ways. Okay, so it looks like this guy killed some of his buddies or something. We've leveled up, so that should make this mission fairly easy. This part of the mission should be. So what's going on? These guys are somehow connected to the clockwork malfunctions? What are they up to? We need to find and question the syndicate leader. But why are these guys involved? And why are they apparently killing each other? Right? Are these not, or are these clockworks? No, these are other members of the syndicate, right? They've got the same thing on their jackets. Weird. So I wonder what they're doing. These guys aren't fighting each other. And the other thing that was really funny is my best friend, he learns a lot about whatever games he's playing, probably more than I do in some of these games like D&D. He's been playing D&D multiple times a week, every week for like 4 years now. So he 5th edition, so he really knows that very, very well. Better than I did even when I was GMing by the end of the GMing part. And so he's used to that. He's used to being like one of the more knowledgeable people in the group. And it was really funny. He was playing his huckster, and he said, like, he went to use one of his powers. He's a hexslinger, and one of the other players was like, "Can't you do that as a free action rather than a multi-action? You don't have to take the multi-action penalty when you do that, right?" And he said, "No, I don't think that's the one." And I looked up. He said, "No." I said, "No, you're right. That one counts. You don't have a multi-action penalty for that." And he was like, "Oh, really, man? I don't remember." And you know, the other players were using their powers in these really creative ways, and he was struggling to remember everything he was able to do and remember all the Savage Worlds rules, and even said, he said, "Wow, I'm usually the one who knows all the rules. I feel weird about it." And I said, "Well, it's not a surprise, right? Because if we're lucky, we've been playing about one session every 3 weeks in Savage Worlds, right? And in the amount of time he plays one Savage Worlds session, he plays like, I don't know, 12, right? In 3 weeks times four other. He's in like 3 or 4 other games. He plays like 12 other sessions of D&D, right? So you play 13 RPG sessions, and 12 out of the 13 are 5th edition D&D. That's what you're going to remember the best, right? And you're not going to remember the differences between D&D and Savage Worlds very easily because you're only playing Savage Worlds like 1/12 or 1/13 of the time. And as my sister always says, it's really funny when I repeated it to her. She said, "I don't remember saying that." I said that, and I'm like, "Yeah." She said, "Doesn't sound like me." But my sister used to say when she was learning psychology, because she's got a degree in clinical psychology. You get good at what you train your brain to do, right? So I had a student who was, taking biology classes during the day, but she was working 35, 40 hours a week as a waitress at Hooters. And because she needed, that's how she made money. And my sister said, yeah, she's training her brain to be a really good waitress rather than to be, a biologist, right? Because she's spending, 3 or 4 times as many hours on waitressing as on science, right? And similarly, my best friend is training his brain to be good at D&D 5th edition, not Savage Worlds, because he hardly plays Savage Worlds and he plays a lot of D&D. But it does mean that he is one of the, he is probably like the least knowledgeable person in the group when it comes to the game mechanics. And I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. It's just it's not a role he's used to, right? And he's especially not used to the role of knowing less about the game than the new girl who, has only been playing role-playing games with us since the pandemic, right? All the rest of us have been playing role-playing games our entire lives, and so he's used to knowing way more about them than she does, and for sure. But she's watched the ETU wildcard show 2 or 3 times, and now she's partway through Deadlands. These are bosses. Oh, the yellow bosses. Okay, because I leveled up. So we're going to definitely need a break free. We're going to need a purple, 2 purples. We're going to dominate, and we will nail him with the hold and her with mind control. And we're going to mobilize her as well. And we'll go back to him and once again refresh the control and hold him while we immobilize and mind control her. And with minions and lieutenants, I wouldn't be refreshing this much. But the problem is that with bosses, I just don't know how long it's going to last. So I refresh a lot more with bosses just because I know that it's going to last a lot less, for a lot shorter of a duration. So anyway, yeah, I mean, this one player has watched, I don't know, their 60 episodes of Wildcards ETU, 3 hours plus each, so this is 200 hours, and then she's probably watched 100 hours of the Deadlands, right? So she's watched these people who were really good at Savage Worlds play Savage Worlds for like 300 hours, in addition to playing it with us, and in addition to having no preconceived reason to what's the word, to internalize D&D. She kind of never really did, and she struggled to understand it all along, and she's much better at understanding Savage Worlds. And I think it's not the game, although I do think Savage Worlds is an easier game to understand. It's like the easiest. What I love about it so much is that your stat is the die you roll, and that is so easy to remember. You don't have to remember bonuses and penalties and stuff like that, or which die you're supposed to roll. Your stat is the die you roll. Damage is almost always D6, and it's almost always 2 or 3 D6. So it is a lot easier to remember. But I also think that she gets it better because she watched a lot of the show. If she had watched, 300 hours of Critical Role, she'd probably get 5th edition D&D a lot better too, right? But she never watched that show. She got interested in the Wildcard show. Okay, so what is Heart of Darkness? Heart of Darkness is another AoE, right? And this one is stun. Well, like we need to do some damage. And Nightfall is a cone. So I think we're going to get Nightfall. And we're going to leave it right there, I think. And now, guys, we can put dual origin enhancer. Well, we always could, but now we can buy dual origin enhancers. Where are the shops? There's a vendor. So I'm going to go over there and buy some dual origin enhancers. And we're going to get ourselves all enhanced up. And then we will continue. I'm going to pause it so you don't have to watch me shopping. And I'll bring you back. Okay, folks, we're back. So here's how I chose to enhance. All accuracy all the time. So we get double accuracies on everything except the things that only have one slot. And then for Dark Grasp, I gave a hold duration and a recharge boost. So what this is going to do is allow us to hold targets for 15 seconds and recharge every 6, 7, right? So we can literally hold two guys at a time and lock them, right? Hold one guy, 7 seconds later, hold the other guy, and then every 7 seconds just alternate, and we can keep two guys permanently locked. Obviously, these will be SOs when the time comes, and then the other two enhancers will probably be, I don't know, maybe an endurance and a damage. We'd like it doesn't do that much damage, but I don't mind enhancing it a little bit for damage. I think even when we're on single origins, we're gonna for this hold, we're definitely gonna want to be double accuracies, and and for possess for the immobilize, probably single origin accuracy because um, it's not as crucial to hit with the immobilization. Um, for Gloom, we now do 52 damage instead of 33. I went ahead and triple damage enhanced that. I thought about maybe doing a recharge or a endurance, but Dios don't do that much. The Gloom doesn't have to recharge that fast because we have enough other powers that I can click on. I mean, like we easily have an unbroken attack chain now with all of these powers because everything is an attack power, right? There's no toggles or anything. So we're in pretty good shape, I think, with these enhancements. And now, at least this clockwork isn't attacking us. Now we will call Alec Parson and do our next mission and see how we perform with this new power. So this is a finale. We're going to go end the threat to the clockwork. Or from the clockwork, whatever. Try to see where it's leaving me. I really like teleport a lot. It's a cool power, and I like the sound effect. Boing, boing, Okay, so this is a mission to end the clockwork threat, so I guess this is kind of a defeat. We're going to have to defeat the boss. Yeah, I didn't stack up my inspiration. We should be okay because we have at least one break free. Hopefully we'll get some more lucks. We're probably okay. Especially now that we have that AoE attack power. So now we can use the AoE immobilize a little bit better now, I think, because we can throw that and then immediately throw an attack power on it, on the target. Right, so let me show you. We can target this guy. We can throw out the immobilize. Hits all three of them, and then we throw out our attack. And we hit all three of them, or we hit two of them. So it's not too bad. Now Gloom should do some nice damage. There we go. And you can join me again. Yeah, cones can be very hard to get right in terms of the angle. I almost wish there was some sort of an overlay, like that if I hover over this, it would and show an overlay of who's going to get hit. But it's probably no good way to do that. Here you can take an immobilize, and you can take an AoE attack. There we go, we hit two of them. Well, we attacked two of them, one of them it missed. Wow, my holds have missed multiple times now. And missed that guy twice with the cone. Oh, I didn't think about it since I only had one slot. But I wonder if that cone has a lower accuracy. Some AoE attacks, they kind of have nerfed accuracy. What's the accuracy on this thing? No, it's 1.9. 1.0 by default. Okay, so we don't need the endurances. Yeah, okay. Our inspirations are alright. That is not a bad damage over time cone. It's got a pretty low recharge, so we're definitely going to want to put a recharge enhancer on it. But it does some nice damage. And it looks cool. Miss. Alright. Well, it is hard to believe that this character is already 12th level. I feel like he's leveled up very quickly. Oh, you know, there's probably bonus XP from the event, right? I think the anniversary event's still going on. Where's the door to the next section? Oh, I didn't see this here. That was dumb. Oh my gosh. And I only have 3 minutes to destroy the threat. Destroy the metronome clockworks and defeat metronome. Okay. In 3 minutes. Okay, I wish I had stealth here because I want to wander around and see what's going on. I don't know if they're all going to aggro to me. Let's try domination. And let's get one of them to attack his buddies, and we missed, of course. Let's try possess again. Got him. It looks like it's not aggroing them, so that's good. That's excellent. Let them attack their own buddies. Am I getting ambushed? I am. This is really tough. And I gotta do this in 2 minutes? How am I gonna do all this damage in 2 minutes? I don't know how I'm gonna do that much damage in 2 minutes. Here, go attack somebody else. Yikes. Attack each other. Yeah, I'm never going to be able to do this in the time allotted because I keep getting ambushed. I don't know who designed these missions. Holy cow. It's almost mean, right? Like, I don't know how a controller is going to, or a Dominator or whatever is supposed to, in a minute or 3 minutes, like, how the heck are you supposed to win that fight that fast, you know? Even with domination going, and I can't hit, right? How many times have I missed him now? And the domination is over, so I can't. Yeah, there's no way to win this fight. I don't see how you win this fight as a Dominator. In a minute? In 3 minutes? Like, I don't see how I win this. I have to run away. Right? I have to run away and get more inspirations because I can't hit multiple. What was this? 4 or 5 orange bosses? So I assume I'm going to just fail the mission because there's no way I can win. Right? 7 seconds. the base, I guess. Yeah, I don't know how you win that one. Somebody post and tell me, how did you win it, if you did? What did it give me, 4 minutes? 3 or 4 minutes? I think it was 3.5 minutes or something to fight them all. And there was like 5 bosses. How are you supposed to do that as a Dominator? You know, you can't, you don't do enough damage. Oh, we'll try one extra thing to do damage. I don't know. Like at 12th level? Alright, let's head back. I don't know if it's going to let me back in. I don't know what the timer was, right? I don't know if that meant that the mission's over and you failed. It doesn't look like it. It looks like the mission's still going on, which is weird. So then why is there a timer if it doesn't matter, right? Yeah, it seems like somebody in the design team had one heck of a fetish for ambushes and attacking you with ambushes while you're fighting a boss, which for 15th level characters, I don't care how experienced you are at the game, that's insane. And I don't, even if you say, well, you could have enhancement sets or whatever, what enhancements? You only have like 7 slots on your whole character sheet, right? So I don't know what the story is on the timer, because the timer didn't seem to do anything. And that was actually the problem, right? If it hadn't been for the fact that there was a timer, I would have taken my time. And instead I was trying to kind of rush and defeat them as fast as I could, but the timer didn't seem to do anything. So, I don't know. So, what's still around? See, like, I only defeated one of them, and they've all completely regenerated now. Did it work? Nope. So what I'm going to apparently need to do is use an entire tray of inspirations on each boss and go out and get more inspirations each time. That's if I don't get ambushed. But without the domination, I can only hold him for like a second. Try to keep him immobilized at least. I can't even like attack with a non-mez power, because if I don't keep the mez on constantly, he is going to get out of it. Right? So I just have to constantly lay on the mez and use an entire tray. There's domination. Say, well, why didn't you wait and use it on the next guy? Because I don't have the inspirations to beat the next guy. I could control him, but without the inspirations running, I won't be able to beat him. You can see what a difference domination makes. Okay, I'll bring you back when I get the next set of inspirations. Alright, we're back. We've got a full tray of inspirations. And we're back to fight another boss. I can't understand who would design a mission with that many bosses all next to each other like that for 12th level characters. It doesn't make any sense. These are all prototypes. So we're still going to have to fight the main boss at some point. Did nothing. Look at that. I hit him and it did nothing. So the only reason it starts working is because I have that duration on it, right? And the increased duration stacks it, right? The first instance is not over when I lay the second instance on him. And then I can keep him held. But if I miss, I'm screwed. And look at how it's killing my endurance to do it this fast. But I have no choice. Right? Or he'll just murder me. Got him. Okay, let's try to do this with the inspirations we have. And hope. So I don't have to go run out yet again. I mean, I'm going to have to do it at least one more time. Yikes. Alright, so that one should hold him, right? Because the duration of the other hold was still on him, even though he was immune to that first one. Right, and putting the fear on him, or not the fear, the mind control on him, at least temporarily stops him from attacking me. Right, he won't shoot me while he's mind controlled. And now I have domination. Here we go. Got him. That should kick his butt. Alright, so the AoE is draining my endurance a lot too. Watch. See how much? Does quite a bit of endurance drain. So we found a clue. We're still dominating, so let's get him. We should be able to win this fight because of the domination. Even if it wears off, the duration should be long enough that we can keep restacking it. There we go. Starting to run out of endurance. So I have to slow down the attack pace a little bit. Just stick with my holds. Okay, so domination's over. We have to keep reapplying the mezzes as much as possible. I might run out of endurance. I don't know. Let's see if we can start doing some more damage. At least I don't have toggles that'll drop. Oh, I missed him. That's going to be bad. Couldn't quite get him. Oh, maybe we got him. Got him. And that completes the mission. That was absolutely brutal, guys. Absolutely brutal. And that completes the story arc. We have 9 reward merits added, which is a total now of 34. And out we go. And now we can talk to our contact. And I think that'll be it for this episode. So we got to 12th level. We're halfway to 13th. And our contact, oh, gives us a beat or two. A metronome keeps time. It is T, BR plus T. T, BR, and T. Russell T. Brandt. He said the Clockwork claimed that Dr. Keyes had betrayed and murdered him. Maybe Brandt knew what Keyes was planning and planted a virus in the Clockwork to extract revenge. I've got someone you should meet. That's Investigator Whitworth, who we will contact in a future episode. Until next time, guys, I am Scarverlock, and this has been City of Heroes with our Dominator.